Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. We are back today with our Echo DSRM2600 battery string trimmer. This is a trimmer in their new E-Force series, their 56 volt line of tools, and also this DSRM2600 is actually in their X series or professional line of tools. So today we're actually just going to kind of be checking out the runtime and seeing how much ground we can actually cover. I've done a video before and actually put it to the test and run a battery from brand new, kind of getting my first impressions and that kind of stuff on it. You know, covered a lot of ground, but I didn't actually time anything to see how many minutes that the battery, you know, lasted as we was cutting. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm over at my brother's house, and I have done this before with the old 58 volt line, and it actually takes a battery and a half to trim this entire property. So we're going to go at it today and see if the new series is more efficient, see if it'll actually do it on less battery. But the grass is a wee bit high today, so if, you know, I'll probably have to do this a couple times actually to see the difference, because the grass right now in a lot of these places that need to be trimmed is probably over a foot tall, maybe even higher than that. So I did do a couple tests with the old version, and I did test it whenever the grass was really high. So it's going to be a pretty fair comparison, but you can't always have it 100% exactly the same conditions unless you're in a place where you've got a controlled growing area and you can measure the density of grass or whatever. So anyways, I think it'll be pretty good, and we're going to get started on this, and we're going to be using different power functions depending on where we're at and where we're needing to trim. We'll be switching between the low, medium, and high settings on it and just see where it takes us on our battery and how many minutes we actually get on it. So I'm going to start the timer right now, and I'm going to try to kind of figure a little bit of the time of moving cameras around and that kind of stuff, and I'll have to subtract just a little bit to kind of compensate for that. So we're going to start our timer right now. It's probably kind of hard to see out here in the daylight, but we're getting started right now. So now I've said before on other videos with battery trimmers that I love the fact that they're quiet, and this one's no exception. I can hear cars coming, you know, a long time before they're here in a danger zone where I might throw something at them, and that's something you can't do on a gas trimmer because it's just making so much noise all the time that you can't hear that traffic. So I meant to do a time check there a minute ago. We're currently at 19 minutes and counting, and the battery, we are at 3 bars on the battery right now. So we've been 19 minutes. Now I have been moving the camera around and stuff a little bit. So I'm gonna try to deduct a little bit of time out of that. Probably gonna be about 5 minutes or so, plus this minute or so I'm talking to you here. So let's keep it going. So I have to say, I am thoroughly impressed with this trimmer. This actually is probably my favorite out of the battery trimmers that I have right now. I've got this Echo DSRM2600. I've also got the Echo 58 volt, and then I've got an Atlas 80 volt. And out of those three, this one is definitely my favorite. This 2600 is the best filling balance. Like you've got the weight back here at the back so that your trimmer head is actually very light moving it around, so it doesn't wear you out, you know, moving that weight. So the old 58 volt version has the motor up here on the trimmer head, and you've got a lot of weight out here on the front, and as you're swinging that back and forth, you can feel that after a while. The time, I actually ran this for 36 minutes, so that's what we ended up getting on that one battery. And I did pretty much run the entire battery on the high setting. I did not switch it down to the low simply because the grass was just so tall. But if I did have a lighter place to cut, then I just eased up on the trigger a little bit because it does have a variable trigger. So I almost got the entire yard completed. I've only got this small section right here behind me that'll probably take 3 or 4 minutes at the most to finish this up. So I'm actually pretty pleased with that because it took a battery and a half on the old trimmer, and this one is going to take a battery and just a hair more. But I would say if this would have been under control to begin with and it wasn't nearly as tall, it would have easily done the entire yard on one charge, which is pretty impressive considering the other one, I always had to make sure I brought the extra battery. So that's going to wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed today's video, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. It really goes a long way in helping out the channel. Also, while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and follow along for all the projects we have going on around the property, plus our product reviews. I try to get new stuff in on a regular basis, but I do buy this stuff myself, so I can't have everything new that comes in, but I do try to get a lot of new stuff to have on the channel. Also, leave a comment down below if you've got a battery string trimmer and leave maybe your experience with it. We'll jump back out here and get the rest of this yard cut, and we'll see you on the next one. So let's get started. We're going to hit